Hello, this is Maven, and welcome to my channel. If today felt emotionally heavy, take this moment for yourself. When your mind won't stop replaying the relationship is the title of this video. So just close your eyes, take a few moments, and listen. If your mind keeps replaying the relationship over and over, you're not alone. Many people recovering from narcissistic abuse notice that certain memories keep returning. Conversations replay in your mind. Moments of confusion surface again. Sometimes you even find yourself imagining that you wish you had said what you had said, something better to may have changed the outcome. And this can be very exhausting. I know. If that's happening to you, there is an important reason why your mind is doing this. And understanding it can make the experience feel less overwhelming. After a narcissistic relationship ends, many survivors experience something psychologists call rumination. Rumination simply means that the mind keeps revisiting the same experiences again and again. You might find yourself replaying arguments. You might remember confusing moments where something, just didn't quite make sense, especially when you realize you've been lied to. Or your mind might return to times when the narcissist relationship felt warm and hopeful. These mental loops can appear at unexpected times, late at night, while driving, or when you're trying to relax. And when that moment happens, repeatedly, people often begin to worry that something is wrong with them. But in reality, this pattern is very normal. It's a very normal response to unresolved emotional experiences, which is quite common with the end of a narcissistic abusive relationship. Your brain is trying to understand something that never fully made sense. Human brains are designed to search for patterns and meaning. When something confusing or emotionally intense happens, the mind tries to organize the experience into a clear story. But narcissistic relationships often create the opposite of clarity. The messages you receive may have been inconsistent. One moment you may have felt valued or appreciated. Another moment you may have felt criticized and even dismissed, which is quite often. That emotional inconsistency can leave the brain with many unanswered questions. So keep the mind clear, even when it tries to recur those moments and return to those moments. Stay clear of them. Not because the brain wants to stay stuck in the past, but because it's still trying to understand what actually happened. In many ways, your brain is attempting to solve a puzzle. It's searching for the explanation that will finally make the experience feel coherent. And until that understanding begins to form, the mind often keeps revisiting the memories. If your mind keeps replaying the relationship, it doesn't mean you're unable to move on. It simply means your brain is still trying to process a complicated emotional experience. Over time, as you learn about narcissistic behavior and emotional manipulation, the story begins to make a whole lot more sense. And when clarity increases, the mind gradually stops returning to those memories as often. The loop begins to slow down. The emotional intensity begins to soften. You have to understand that one of the most powerful ways for a brain to find closure is understanding. So I'm sure you've been binge watching, videos on YouTube about narcissist behavior. But at some point, you've got to stop and start reclaiming your life. And that's what these videos are meant to help you with, is to help reclaim your life. Find you again, be the best version of you again. Every piece of insight helps to settle the mind. If your thoughts have been circling around the relationship lately, be gentle with yourself. Your mind is doing something very human. It's trying to make sense of something confusing and emotionally intense. With time, patience, and understanding, those mental loops usually become quieter, and clarity does grow. And as it grows, your mind gradually begins to focus more on the present than the past. And that's a good thing. You don't have to rush into that process. You don't have to rush anything. Every step towards understanding is part of the healing path. This is your healing journey. And simply learning about these patterns means you're already moving forward. Thank you for listening. I'm Maven from Narc Free Maven. My goal with these videos is to create a calm, steady space for people healing from narcissistic and emotional abuse. A place where your mind can slow down, your nervous system can breathe, and you can begin to find clarity, again, one step at a time. If this video brought you even a small sense of comfort or peace tonight, I invite you to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can be gently notified when a new calming ASMR recovery video is uploaded. You don't have to figure everything out in this moment. Just focus on taking care of yourself, one moment at a time. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Breathe deeply, and remember, clarity changes everything.